Hi guys, just getting my tea here. How are you? Excuse my bedhead, I had a bit of a nap earlier. Had a headache come on that wasn't fun, so napping always makes me feel good. Hi. How was your happy Friday, or sorry, your Black Friday? How was Black Friday going for you? Are you shopping? Are you not shopping? Do you like Black Friday? Um, I have never been a Black Friday like wait in line at the mall person. I never have been, even when I was younger. I do like the online shopping though. I didn't buy anything yet today, apart from my usual morning coffee and all that jazz. But I hope you're having a good one, whatever you're doing, whatever you're up to. And let me know when you're watching on the replay in the future, and say hi if you're watching live now. Those who don't know me, I'm Khethiwe. I help you to feel healthy, help you to feel, when I say healthy, I mean like whole and complete as far as your connection to yourself, right? Like a healthy connection to self, a really good inner world going on, feel safe, feel worthy, feel like you believe in yourself and your dreams. And I help you to do that by a lot of healing, a lot of deep inner work, a lot of shifting limiting beliefs. And from that perspective, then you can then move into the reality that you want and consciously create the reality that you desire. And that's how I help people. So if you haven't watched me before, welcome to the live stream. If you are, somebody who's been in my world for a bit, hi, thank you for your support. And hi, I see somebody hopped on here. And I want to talk about, first of all, I do have a Black Friday special. And it's kind of going through till Monday, till Cyber Monday, like through Monday until Tuesday morning. And it's called Grounded Diva, okay? And I'm really excited about this because it's going to help you really connect to your seat of safety and security. We're talking about the root chakra, which is your survival energy, basically. So if you grew up in a chaotic environment, if your needs weren't met, whether they're physical, whether it was money, whether it was affection, whether it was love, whether it was attention, if you had your basic needs that weren't met when you were growing up, your root chakra might be off. If you have panic and anxiety, it's a sign your root chakra might need attention, most likely does. And this group program helps you connect back to yourself. It helps you connect back to that safety and security and that trust in life and that like support, right? And really it's kind of calling in the energy of the earth, right? That solid, stable foundation. You're going to be regulating your nervous system. It's going to be really, really, really cool. And so it's 14 days starting December 6th, and it's going to be in a group. I'm going to be doing trainings in there. You're also going to have accountability if you want to be, held accountable to doing the steps so you actually see results. There's an accountability piece in the group. There's also going to be a group chat. So if you have questions during the 14 days, you can ask it in the group chat and I'll be answering your questions, which is amazing and a really important component of transformation and change is having that support. So I included that in this. So if that interests you, it's only $55 through the weekend, through Cyber Monday. And then after that, it's $99, which is still an amazing price. But that's my special. That's what I'm doing. If it interests you, send me a DM. I'm still getting all my links and stuff ready. Like I made an official sales page and I'm working on that. So it's not quite ready yet, but I do have the link to get started if you want. So DM me for that. So I want to talk about this topic though. This is all about like, here's the thing. A lot of us want stuff, right? We want stuff. We want to create the reality we desire. We want to call in, money. We want to call in more success, more clients. We want to, have the body we desire. We want to have the friendships and the relationships and the partnerships we desire, right? We all have desires. You probably have a list a mile long of all the things that you want to create in your life that have yet to be, come to fruition, right? And not to say anything's bad with that, because we're always going to have things that we desire that aren't here yet. There's, even when you're, a multimillionaire on a yacht, they still have desires that have yet to come to fruition, right? There's always another thing. So it isn't that having things unfulfilled is bad or wrong. It's just life. You're always going to have new things to desire, new things to want, right? And let me know if you can relate to that. I'm sure you can. So, but what I mean is sometimes we have a conscious desire, right? A soul desire, right? Something that we know we desire badly. So, a year and a half ago, a year and a half ago, I had this strong desire. I've had the desire for years, but a year and a half ago, I answered the desire for me to start this business, to start a spiritual business, a heart-centered business, right? That was a strong desire I had, and I finally answered the call a year and a half ago, right? That was a desire of mine. And even though I desired it and I wanted it, a part of me was afraid. A part of me was very fearful of this actually coming true, right? And you might at the outset be like, that's kind of weird. Like, how could you be afraid of what you want? Many people are and just don't realize it because of what it means to actually attain what you say you want, right? Because running a business, even though it is my purpose and even though I love it and even though it's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, there are still things that come with it that aren't so fun, right? And it's one thing to be like, okay, well, that isn't so fun, but I can handle it. It's another thing to be afraid of it, right? And I had some fears. And so the fears that I had around what I wanted originally was having to put trust in my business around money. Because it was like, okay, well, if I do have the business I say I want, I'm going to have to trust that money is going to come into my business month after month after month. And that felt really scary to me, right? Because obviously I was conditioned to grow up in, the employee-employer type situation, right? You have a job, you go to work, you get a paycheck. I also was a server, bartender, whatever, in hospitality for most of my life. And so that was the way that I was used to receiving money, receiving my financial well-being, right? Was through that area. So even though I had this desire to have a business, the thought of having a business actually scared me when I actually took time to look at it. Because I was like, well, holy shit, like, how am I supposed to rely on a business for income? What if I don't, make my targets? What if I don't reach my sales goals? What if people don't like what I have to say? What if they don't sign up for my programs? What if they don't become clients? And, you see where this rabbit hole's going, right? It was very scary to my nervous system. And I think to anyone switching over from, being an employee to being a business owner, I think that it's normal and natural to have those thoughts. But the level that I was having those thoughts was definitely unreasonable because I had so much money trauma, right? I had so much money shit to work through. So I had to work through the money stuff and like the trust in money and the trust that even if I'm under the job, if I'm at a business, it doesn't matter, that money's going to find me and flow to me. I really had to do the deep dive work for that to feel safe, to actually be kind of seemingly on my own. You're never on your own. You always have support, universal support and guidance, right? But it felt like, oh my God, now I'm like on my own and like I'm out of the safety of what a job can bring, right? And jobs do feel safe. They're not actually safer. They're really not, as we've all learned in 2020 especially. But they're perceived to be safer. It's what we're used to. It's what we see our parents doing and what most of society is doing. And so, of course, your instinct and your natural inclination is going to be like, well, of course it's safer to have a job, even though that's debatable, right? So I had to work on that and feeling safe to actually be full-time in my business and to actually trust that money's going to come to me and that I'm going to have money to pay for my bills and my business expenses and et cetera, right? And so once I felt safe to do that, I allowed myself to have clients. I allowed myself for people to come in. But before that, it's kind of like I was blocking myself and I wasn't actually playing full out in my business because I was scared. And I didn't really want to play full out, right? Consciously I did, but unconsciously, subconsciously, I didn't. And nothing's, inherently wrong or bad with that. It's just having that understanding and then knowing what to do about it, right? And so I just committed to every day, looking at how I felt about it and being like, well, how do I feel today about this? Why am I afraid, right? And I'd have to tell myself, even if, let's say, I don't make any sales in a month, like what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Okay, so I'm behind in my bills for a month or so, like most likely nothing's going to get shut off or I'm not going to starve, right? I'll figure out a way. If I have to, I'll get a job, right? Worst comes to worst, I'll go get a job. I'll find a way to earn income. I'll sell some things. I'm a very resourceful person, right? And so that was the belief that I had to come to every time I had a panic around, oh my God, what if nobody signs up for my business? What if nobody cares about what I have to offer, right? I had to continually tell myself that I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to be safe, right? And I used modalities like EFT tapping, like energy work, like root chakra work, right? And root chakra was what we're covering in Grounded Diva, the program, right? The group coaching program. So you have to come back to safety. And for me, when I'm trying to ascend to another level in my life, when I'm trying to rise to the occasion and create more of whatever it is, a lot of the times the resistance that comes up for me personally is safety. That's my thing. It could be for you, maybe it's trust, maybe it's whatever, right? But it's like every time I ascend into like a new level, I have to deeper dive into safety personally. And if you're watching this, you probably feel the same, right? So now that I had addressed that, right, I was able to then get to the level that I'm at now in my business, where my business is making full-time income, and it's great, right? And it's getting better and better and better. And this month is one of my highest months, and, you know, it will continue to do so, right? Not to say that there weren't times that I was like scared around money, or, you know, didn't have to like rob Peter to pay Paul at my accounts. Like, I certainly had those moments over the last year and a half in my business, for sure. Okay. So don't get it twisted like it was all perfect, but I've now reached the level where I trust, and money's coming in consistently, and like, I know my business has got me. I know that the universe will bless me with money, with the clients, with the things, right? Because I believe it, I then saw it, and that feedback loop feeds itself, right? So now it's easier and easier and easier to trust and to feel safe and to feel supported. Okay. So that's a really important thing. So, you know, another example could be like somebody who wants to have a relationship, right? They want to call in a soulmate, right? Consciously they want it, but if they actually were in a relationship, that would freak out their nervous system, because maybe they had a really bad relationship before, or many bad relationships, or maybe they had, you know, awful examples of relationships growing up. Maybe they were really traumatized as children from the close relationships around them, right? Until those feelings and past, you know, hurts have been addressed and released from your system, and you feel safe again, you will stop yourself from receiving that relationship. You will stop yourself from actually being in a relationship because it doesn't feel safe to you, right? So this is why it's really important, and this is why people self-sabotage a lot of the time, is safety. Is because, well, damn, I want it, but if I actually got it, their body and their energy is like, oh shit, if we actually got this thing, it'd be really scary, right? You wouldn't be able to handle it. Maybe you'd feel like your emotions are at risk. You don't want to have another heartbreak. Or maybe you're just like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to run away from this, or I'm going to be treated badly, right? If that's going on and that's the predominant energy, you're going to stop yourself from dating, from finding somebody who could be a good fit for you. Subconsciously, consciously, you could be like, I'm doing all the right things, I'm open to it, but then subconsciously, unless you're aware of the stories that are playing out, you may not be aware of it at all, right? And this could be stopping you. And this is when you have like, you hit plateaus and you just don't go over the plateau, and you're like, what's happening here? Like, why do I always get to the same point and never go beyond it, or always get to the same point and then backslide, right? That's an indication that you have some things around safety, maybe. It could be worthiness too. It could be something else, but safety is a big, big thing. So just having that awareness of asking yourself, is there any reason why I wouldn't want this because it doesn't feel safe, right? Think about what you desire and be like, is there a reason I wouldn't want this for safety? And if there is, you will be told what it is. Answers will start coming to you. And then once you have that awareness, then you're like, okay, cool. And now I know what's going on. Now I need to feel safe. So maybe it is, you know, a matter of doing energy work around it. Maybe it's a matter of, you know, installing new beliefs. Maybe it's a matter of physically taking an action that would make you feel safer to go forward, right? Only you would know what would make you feel better. But there is always a solution. So don't worry if you don't feel safe around something. It isn't the end of the world. You can definitely shift that, because I've done it and still do it, right? And now going to the next level in my business, I realized that I had some more safety things to integrate, because to me it felt like, you know, the next level and receiving way more abundance for what I do, and being more successful and being more visible and having more people in my world felt unsafe to me. And it felt like I might be hurt. I might be physically hurt if I reach a certain level of success. Okay. And this comes from a couple memories growing up. When I was younger, we were walking through a park in a neighborhood. And I lived in Africa when I was a toddler, like up to the age of 5. And at this time, we were living in Mozambique, which is like a country in the east of Africa. And we were walking through a park, like a regular, everyday, bring your family to this park place, right? Like there's playgrounds, like people get married there. Like it wasn't like a shady place per se, but we were walking through the park and these guys like came out of a bush with knives and were like, give us your money, right? And that's very clearly traumatic. We weren't hurt, thank God. But that's traumatic. And I realized this memory was coming up as I was doing this work around going to the next level financially. Because the meaning that my mind associated at that time was like, well, if we can be robbed and we're not rich at all, like my family had like was always struggled with money. I'm like, if we are like broke and we can be robbed when we're broke, imagine how much more of a target we'll be when we have a lot of money, right? That was the association. And to my subconscious, it's logical. It's a logical association. It's a logical jump. But it's not actually a fact, is it? Right? It's not a fact that the minute that I, make $1 million, I'm immediately going to be like kidnapped and killed. Like, no, of course not. Like, has it happened to people before? Sure. Is it rare? Yes. It doesn't happen to every millionaire, right? I know plenty of people that have a lot of money that are safe and secure. So it's a matter of, first, I'm releasing that energy from my body and like getting rid of the actual energy. And then I'm also imprinting safety, and I'm like sending safe energy to the version of myself that has what I want, as well as doing root chakra work, right? So now going to the next level, that's what I'm doing to make my nervous system feel safe to have the level of success that I want. Okay. And so this work doesn't really stop, like you always get to have more, but there's always more work to do. Like the healing journey never ends. So it's like you are whole, but you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be fully, enlightened in this lifetime. Like that's kind of the point, is like learning and deepening your understanding and deepening your level of power and deepening your worthiness and deepening your sense of safety and security in the world and deepening your sense of abundance, And this happens over your life. It doesn't happen once in most cases, right? Unless you're Eckhart Tolle, he had the spontaneous enlightenment, but it's not meant, usually it doesn't work like that, right? So this is just a really key thing to keep in mind as you're going forward in your life with conscious creation, okay? I want you to really think about, do I feel safe to have it? And be honest with yourself. Don't tell yourself a story that you think sounds good or like, yeah, of course I want that. Like, no, this isn't the time to spiritually bypass yourself, right? It's time to get honest and be like, if I actually right now had that thing on a scale of 0 to 10, how safe would I feel? And if it's 10, great. Happy for you, right? That's not your resistance, obviously. But if it's not, then you want to look at it and really address why and do the deep work around this. Shadow work, right? Shadow work. Seeing what it is exactly that is keeping you stuck and keeping you where you're at, right? That is really, really key. And I can't stress it enough. I really can't stress it enough. It's so important. And because fear really is, a mechanism of survival, right? Your body and your nervous system want to keep you alive and keep you safe. And that is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so first it's like acknowledging, thank you for keeping me safe. But now that I want to play bigger and I want to go harder and I want to have more, this is no longer serving me. This is stopping me, right? And basically when you have fear around your desire, you basically have not enough pleasure linked to it. You have more pain linked to your desire than pleasure subconsciously. So you also want to be starting to link pleasure with it. So being like, well, how would having this make my life better? How would having this make me safer? How is having this actually going to benefit my life, right? So that you start to retrain your brain and your subconscious and your energy to back up your desire and move that momentum from, oh my God, this is unsafe and crazy for us to do this, to, yes, this is really good for our overall well-being and our survival to have this in our life, right? And when you tip the scales in that direction, things really start to snowball and you start to shift and you start to go past your upper limits and blow past your plateaus, and things come into your life easier. And you don't stop yourself and self-sabotage yourself anymore, right? So I hope that explanation helped, okay? And yeah, I'm going to hop off. I don't want to be on here for too long, but I will talk to you guys soon. Let me know if that, rung any bells or struck a chord with you guys at all. And put it in the comments below if you have any questions or comments about that. But I will talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your happy, Black Friday. And have a good weekend, guys. Bye.